Astronaut, I move solo cause it feels safer. Astronaut, I move solo cause it feels safer. Fake friends and fake people, some of them is hate. Fake friends and fake people, some of them is haters.
Hey, welcome to Spaceland, you heard?
Oh my god, yo. Ugh. Alright, boom. Hey, yo, what up? Oh shit. It's your boy Astronaut, back again. Spaceland. Man, I am tired, bro. I was out all night. It's fucking ridiculous. But today, I'm gonna be staying home for a little bit because I'm going to get this transmission for my ST, and we are going to make some stuff happen. And I'm going to explain how I got to where I wound up having to take the transmission to this motor shop to get 2 broken studs removed. They called me, they said it was ready. They actually said it was ready yesterday, but I was at work, and by the time I got out, they would have closed, because they closed at 6. So it's like 10 right now, so I just woke up a while ago, and we making that move, man. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't get coffee at the crib because I immediately left the house to get the transmission. So boom, I got the 7-Eleven, you know, the regular exclusive with the Cinnabon cream and a little bit of sugar. Fire, yo. Gotta flavor this, man. Alright, so I changed up a little bit. I did a little bit of setting up to put this transmission back up. But let me put you onto the story, right? Because then I'm not sure, because I definitely don't have enough time to right now because I work at 4. So I'm thinking when I get off, I'm gonna try to come back and do it. So I'm thinking that my goal is to actually just mount the transmission and screw it on, and then when I come back, do everything else. But let me get to the story. So, I want to say like maybe it could potentially have been a year already. About a year ago, the slave cylinder on my ST went out. Essentially, it was, no pressure to the clutch pedal. I pressed down on the clutch pedal, it would stick, and all of this stuff. So I would assume, like most cars, you got to drop the whole transmission to replace the slave cylinder. I did that. The clutch looked worn, but not worn enough. You know what I'm saying? And I don't really drive the ST a lot. Like I do when it's running, but sometimes it's always something happening. So a lot of times I like to just sit the car up when I really don't need to be driving, period. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, I said I'm not about to spend money on a whole new clutch kit. You know what I mean? Especially when the clutch looks fine. So fast forward to about 3 weeks ago, I was driving the car, and the obvious signs of a worn clutch were starting to arise. Clutch is not engaging as much, higher RPMs at slower speeds. You know what I mean? Like going 10 miles an hour, and it takes 6,000 RPMs to get the car moving. And as time went on, it got worse. You know what I'm saying? So essentially, I'm like, all right, I know what's going on. I looked under the car. I saw oil leaking, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't the rear main seal. I think I have this bullshit eBay oil catch can where the PCV is. Well, for the PCV, I should say. I think that's what's leaking, but it didn't look like it was the rear main seal, was what I'm getting at. So clutch winds up going out, essentially. I could barely drive the car. I couldn't even get it up the curb in my driveway. So, I understand that clutches go out at some point. Some cars or some drivers, they never go out, because, OEM, not really driving the car hard. But in reality, all clutches wear at some point. So, I got a stage 2 clutch. So it's probably going to wear down a little bit harder than like an OEM clutch, I would assume. But yeah, essentially the clutch went out, parked the car, van's in the driveway. I didn't even put the van back on the road yet. You know what I'm saying? And I go to take apart the clutch because I've did this like 6 times already. 2 for a rear main seal, One when the first clutch burnt out ever in the car. And then I had another clutch go, an ACT like stage 4 clutch. Like I had no business even having that in the car, but if you don't know, it's basically, instead of it being a full circle, it almost looks like a goddamn looks like a windmill. You know what I'm saying? Because you know, it transfers more power from the transmission to the engine, from the engine to the transmission, I should say. So that went out pretty quickly. Had no business buying it. Then the slave cylinder, and now here we are, right? So, you know what I'm saying? I go to take the transmission apart, and everything's all good. I dropped the transmission. No, I'm lying. This is where the problem happened. So I'm about to drop the transmission. So I go to unscrew the transmission mount bracket bolts. So I got a what is it? What mount I got? What mount? I forget what mount I got. I got a it's a transmission mount that it replaces the OEM transmission mount bracket and the mount together. It's basically a whole new setup. I don't know why I have brain damage right now, but I at some point throughout this video I'll show you which one it is. I don't know why I can't remember the brand, but anyways, that being said, so I take off one bolt, everything is good as new. You know, everything is as smooth as butter. And I go to take off the second one, snap the head clean off, like clean. It was flush with the transmission. So I'm like, that's mad weird. I never had this problem before. And I didn't over tighten it, so I'm not sure why it even did that. Go to the second one, snap. So I snapped 2 bolts off the head. Snap two bolt heads clean off of the transmission bracket mount bracket. And so the rest of the studs obviously in the transmission. So I'm like, you know, I can still drop the transmission. So I dropped the transmission, everything is all good at that point. The process still kind of went how it normally would. The roadblock will be putting it back up now, because now I got 2 studs stuck in the transmission. So I said, you know what? Let me see if I could drill these out. The drilling did not work. My Harbor Freight drills are weak. The drill bits I had, I think, were just worn out. Penetrating oil, all of that stuff wasn't working. Now, this stuff works. Like, these procedures work. I just honestly think I don't have the experience or the comfortability to really understand what I got going on or what I'm doing, because snap bolts really isn't something I've dealt with. And the times that I did deal with it, it was like smaller situations. I was able to get the bolt out typically. Like, I was never really in a position where I couldn't get the snap, you know, bolt out of the, you know, the seating. So I tried day in, day out for like 3 days. Didn't work. And when I say 3 days, this is including me having to work. So I obviously wasn't out there all day. But after like day 2, day 3, I was like, I can't do this. So what happened was I took the transmission, the whole unit, to Colvin Motor Parts, which is, if you're in Long Island, then you just know. You know what I'm saying? These guys are goats. They do custom work. They made me custom brake lines for my wagon. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, yeah, we gonna just take it to that. I called them. They're like, yo, I was like, yo, can your machine guys get these studs out, bro? Like, I'm dying over here. And I already felt like this clutch going out happened at the worst time, because, like, I don't have the time, you know what I'm saying? And it's hot as fuck, and I got so much other stuff that I need to be doing, you know what I mean? So I'm just like, so I called them, I'm like, yo, can you get these studs out? They said, yeah, we got you. So I said, bet. So I didn't register my van right away, so I went and did that like the next day. Got my van back on the road, as you can see. And I was like, yo, we gonna take this transmission over to Colvin. You know what I'm saying? So take it over there, and they said he'll call you in a couple of days. Called me in a couple of days, $135 in. They removed the studs. And now we back to reinstalling the transmission. And so, you know, essentially, I spent more time sitting around than actually working on the car, but we're at this point now. So right now I'm on my way to Harbor Freight to return some tools. They're basically it was an extractor set that I wanted to return. I told myself at first I was going to keep it in case I need it in the future. But then I thought to myself, if I'm not even experienced enough to remove the studs, what do I have tools that I'm clearly not going to use? And I feel like at this point, if I run into that type of situation again and I could just remove the part, then I'm just going to take it to them. Fuck that. I mean, obviously at some point I want to learn and get better at it, but in the case of an emergency, I wouldn't be using the tools anyway. So I'm about to return it, get my money back. And right now it's like 1:30. So my thing, like I said, I'm gonna try to at least get the transmission up. If I can't, then whatever. I'll just do it when I come back. But I'm looking to be driving Friday morning. I'm looking to do this. I'm looking to make this happen. So go away there. I'm gonna return these tools, and then I'm gonna head back to the crib, and we're gonna see if we can make this happen. You know? Hopefully, my story was interesting, because I get sick of this bullshit. All right, so we here. So I don't know if you can tell which ones they worked on. They did a flawless job though, but it was this guy and it was this guy. This one was fine. This one's used for not the mount. So yeah, so they took care of it, and here we are. And so I put the pressure plate back on. As you can see, it's not even new. It's like the same shit, so it doesn't even look good. But yeah, this is it. So we're gonna put this joint back on. Hopefully I can get it on within the next hour or two, at least. I skipped a couple steps. Like, I didn't remove the motor mount. So essentially, where is that guy at? Oh, here we go. So I couldn't get this bolt out, but because I did this transmission drop like 9 times, I kind of know shortcuts. So I essentially kept this on because the way it was angled, and you can already see it's kind of stripped. I was like, I'm good. I'm not even gonna mess with it no more. Some of these bolts are worn out, and I plan on getting a specific lower motor mount that comes with the bracket. So essentially at some point I'm going to drop the transmission again, and I'm going to just remove this whole thing. But I'm going to get a couple parts and stuff before I even do that. Yeah, so get this joint on. Oh, yeah. Fuck you. this should be mounted better. Have to work, and I have to assume that I'm going to finish. Well, I'm gonna stop in about 20 minutes, yo. If I can get this transmission up, I'm gonna remove the transmission jack, and I'm gonna bring back the floor jack and just hold it up. Cause once I mount it, obviously you need to screw it in, but once I mount it, it pretty much is secure there. Man. All right. And also, if you're not comfortable doing stuff like this, I wouldn't recommend it. I wouldn't recommend it at all. And don't use this video as an influence to do it. Cause this shit is not fun. Only reason I'm even doing this the way I am is because I've been doing it. I did it so many times, like it's almost like changing my pants in a new morning. You know what I'm saying? There we go. We can lift it. All right. So I'm thinking. Hold on. All right, so I got it at a good point right now. It's 3:20, so I'm gonna go ahead and just freshen up a little bit. And I think when I come back, I should have enough upper core strength to move this right there. As you can see, I got the bracket aligned with the starter, so I got it right where it needs to be. So we're gonna mess with this a little bit later on, but we have to continue with the day. Yo, good thing I stopped when I did, right? Oh, look at my hair. Fucking buckwheat in this motherfucker, bro. What the hell? Yo, good thing I stopped, right? Because as soon as I left, I pretty much started coming towards work, started sun showering. Yes, sir. Started raining, but the sun's out. I think this shit's mad weird, bro. But yeah, none the least, it started raining, so guess timing was all right. So I'm thinking like, right, I'm gonna come back. We're gonna at least get this transmission on, right? I feel like I bolted down, and depending on the time, you know what I'm saying? Do the finishing in the morning. Cause at that point, I just gotta link up the mounts, put the axles back together, put the brakes back together. Car's good to go. You know what I'm saying? So, and the battery and all that good stuff. But once I get the transmission up, the bulk of the job is done. Man. I'm not gonna lie, it's more exhausting because, like, I really don't want to do this. I think most people don't. But, you know, I don't know, like, even with the build, like, even the way I've been building a car, it's kind of revolved around dropping the transmission an easier job, right? Like, my next mod I want to do is this cold air intake that's mounted in like the fender. It's like a cowl intake. So it goes through the front passenger side cowl and it goes down into the fender. And you know, one of the steps to removing the transmission is to remove the intake. And I got the baby battery, got the racing battery. So I got a bunch of stuff that, you know, helps the car and makes that particular job easier. So, I don't know. Once I get this up, man, I ain't looking to really do that for a good minute. And I'm still gonna get this new motor mount. I got a bunch of stuff, man. It's just money pit, man. Jeez. So yeah, I'm on my way to work now. I'm like 20 minutes early, so I'm gonna sit and chill for a bit. Go in, I close, so I'm there till 11. I can't leave early because I'm closing the kitchen, so I have to be there until 11. Or whenever they decide they want to say the kitchen's closed. Or do their little last call, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, we out here, man. We doing all right, man. We doing all right.
Hard cause the bread important. I go hard cause the bread important. I go hard.